What's up, y'all? It's your girl Yaminah Legohn. Welcome to the Red Light Special Live. I know we haven't seen you in a little bit, but we all moving and grooving and making things happen. And of course, we missed you. And we happy to chat with y'all today. We have our show here at the Red Light Special Live. And so I'm gonna bring in my co-host. We have Miss Trina Be Real. What is good, Miss Trina Be Real? Hey, hey.
What's up, girl? I see all natural today. No filters, no filters, no filters.
No, all natural.
Yes, darling, yes.
What's up, Apollo?
Hey, what's going on, beautiful people, beautiful
Thank you.
queens? How's everybody doing?
I'm feeling fantastic, darling.
I'm doing awesome. We just
Yeah.
had Mother's Day, so I wanted to do a little recap. Did we enjoy Mother's Day? I got
Let me tell you, I am the mother on the crew.
you are
Okay.
I had an amazing. Well, Mother's Day is always a wonderful time in my life because I have 3 beautiful daughters that love their mother. Still waiting on one gift. No, just playing. I got my beautiful Pandora bracelet and another bracelet that I wanted for my daughter that says "Mom."
Oh,
Yeah, and my husband got me a Sephora gift card, and my other daughter's taking me to dinner on Thursday to this new restaurant in Harlem. I didn't want to go out on Mother's Day because I think Mother's Day is overrated. Outside dining, I feel like they push the prices up because they know you gotta take your mom out, and they like it's the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, I guess I'm doing the show by myself today.
Okay, I
was like, where am I at?
No, I just bring y'all in.
All right, so it was a wonderful time, and now I'm moving on because I think I don't think a lot of people went out this year. I didn't see. I was live, babe.
Oh, look, that's so cute.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, man.
It was delicious, though.
Delicious,
It
right?
was delicious. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, y'all. And, yeah, I can't complain. I had a wonderful time. I didn't do a lot though. I was dog sitting, so I was coming off of dog sitting on Mother's Day, so I was just really tired because I don't know if anybody else have ever dog sitted, but that shit is like a lot. And this particular dog was in heat. So the other dogs were like I never seen dogs act like that. It was Animal Kingdom, y'all. It was some different type of shit. I just want y'all to know. I didn't know because dogs. You know how they say dogs have bionic ears and bionic smells? Like, it's something about when the female dog is in heat, the the male dog, oh my God, they be howling and pacing around her. Girl, it was like some piranhas around some fresh meat. I was like, what in the world? I wasn't ready, y'all. I wasn't ready. Then they got stuck one time and I didn't know what to do. I had to call my daughter. I'm like, oh my God, the dogs are stuck.
Oh no.
Wait, the dogs were stuck?
When they have sex, sometimes they get stuck.
Yeah.
That means
it's so painful when they're stuck. Like,
not for them, evidently, it's something that happens. That's how they mate. Like, that's how they make babies. But
yeah,
I didn't know what the fuck. I came in and it was in a pretzel girl. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to get some Vaseline. I didn't know what to do. My daughter was like, no, just let them unloose themselves. And they unloosed. But she had a grip on that thing, girl. I don't know how she had a grip. I was like, shit, I need to figure out that grip. She had a grip. But I mean, it was like he couldn't move. I was like, oh, that's a different superpower, Miss Dog Female you.
That is funny.
No, that was like, I've seen that in the hood before, and that kind of like scared me. And my mom was like, I don't know what that do. I think somebody stuck them together. Like, oh my God.
You good stuff. Yeah, if you pull them apart, you'll hurt them. Like, you really can't touch them. Like, they really, and it's like, whatever it is after that release, it's like the nut has happened. After they release, they have nutted. It's just some crazy Animal Kingdom shit. I think now I'm like, this is too much for me.
Well, happy Mother's Day, and shout out to all the mothers who was out there.
Yeah.
Shout out to the mothers and the fathers who sometimes have to play mothers. Don't forget.
Yes, we have to shout out to the fathers that have to play mothers too, because there are, we don't want to count nobody out because they be counting men out. We don't want to count men out because there are men that I know somebody with 4 kids and the mother left, and he's been taking care of all them kids by himself. So, shout out to the fellas that's been, having to comb their daughter's hair and, figure out things for their daughters, you know what I mean? And being there for their sons and, all of that. That's super like important, you know what I mean? So happy Mother's Day to all y'all. So let's get into these topics, okay?
Yeah.
So we have some interesting things, going on. There's a lot that's been going on, but the one thing that's like been in the news for a minute, everybody's talking about it, is Kevin Samuels, the death of Kevin Samuels. If y'all didn't know, he's an image consultant. He was huge on social media, and he was giving like relationship advice to men and women. But he was also very controversial and telling like, women, if you were at a certain age and like you're done. I'm not, I don't know all the words verbatim, but it was people are definitely reposting things about him. And I find that it's interesting because one thing that I'm learning or hearing in social media is that people are like, if you say anything bad about Kevin Samuels right now, then you're a bad person, and all these Black women are talking bad about him, and we being evil and all that kind of stuff. So I know you guys have heard the news about it. They did just recently release the 911 call where it was showing the girl trying to help, and then the 911 operator was like not professional. Okay, it was a little ratchet to me. And like, it's like when you on 911 and she got a little attitude with the girl too, and it was just like, when you're doing customer service, like hello, all of that, you know what I mean? And it's just like, come on, like 911. So unfortunately,
well, we need to check it. We need to check in that 911.
Yeah,
because that sounds like that was the first part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But the second part for me was that his mother was notified by social media, which I think I would be, as a mother, I would be devastated.
Yeah.
That I was not notified that I have lost my child.
Yeah.
And to be told by the media that has no, and then have all these stories, it would be just too much. I think he's gone. And we need to let the man rest and pray for our souls, because we are still here. And regardless of what we may have felt about him, that was his duty to serve. Like maybe that was his calling to do at this part of his life. Some people could have a reality check or check in or whatever it was, or just to maybe have more empathy for others.
Yeah.
Right? Because maybe he might have felt that way, but others watching him felt empathy for how he was speaking.
Yeah.
And they may have saw these people in a more, in a hurtful way. Because some of the things he might have said might have been a hard pill to swallow for some people, but it might have been the truth for some, right? It might have been some real reality to some of that. That's why he has so many people that still support him, like the TIs of the world. Or there was a couple of celebrities that gave him a shout out, like on some, I'm gonna miss hanging out with you. You were pretty cool. Like, so regardless of what we may have felt about him, he grew his popularity on being that type of person, right? Like we would have never knew who Kevin Samuels was if he was just out there with some positive shit, right? Because people with positive shit, we out here still don't nobody really get, that's just another positive person. But he was able to utilize that controversy and create a career, because that's what made him somebody. Because nobody cared about Kevin before he started being that way. Like nobody was like, he was just giving advice, and he was just a strong guy in Atlanta. Right. He had been trying to do all these different things to promote himself, to get out there and be the right guy and do the right thing the right way. And nobody cared. Then he said, well, I'm going to tell you how I feel. You fat and ugly. You ain't going to get nothing. And for some of them, it may have been some truth. Because some of them will get up there and I was like, well, what do you think he was going to say? Mom, look at yourself right now. How you up here? You ain't do your hair. I mean, you up here with an image consultant.
Yeah.
This is me straight out of the bathtub, and I know I'm not looking 100%, but this is how they was getting out there talking to an image consultant.
Right.
So what did you think he was going to say? I mean, he can see your natural beauty, but if you're going to talk to an image consultant, you probably want to image yourself to look like a little something, right?
Yeah.
Some of them set their own self up. Like I seen some of the lives and like how some of the women were talking to him. I'm like, I almost felt like they just went on there so they can go back and forth with him.
Yeah, and then some of them, even with the like, I want a guy that makes 6 figures, and they're like, well, how much you make? And they get quiet. And then he would do that. That's what Kevin would do. Like,
I know.
he was pretty much saying like, you want these things, but who are you? Like, what are you to what are you that requires these? Because he would go, like they would say to him, and why would you think you deserve it? And so what? And then he would even. This is when he would be the kicker for me. He said, "Well, rate yourself from 1 to 10."
I know. Yeah, the rate.
Well, I think I'm a 9. He was like, "Ooh, you might want to try that again." And then and then they would sit there and give him a number, like, "Well, you don't think I ain't?" And then he'd be like, "Well, And then they'd be like, "Well, how much has the most money of the man you've been with before?" He made over 100,000. Why you not with him? Like, he'll ask you some shit that all the time. And then he'll sit there and just look at him like this while they talking, and he just looking like he has no belief in nothing that they saying. And it's just that would be the comical part for me, because I was like, "Why did you? I'm with you, Yaminah. I would have hung up. I wouldn't even got up there." Or when he about to hang up on you, and he be saying, "Oh, what?" I wouldn't have gave him that much room. Like, he's about to hang up on you, and you talking about, "Well, I want to." He go, "No, you're not gonna do that on my show." And bloop.
Yep.
Like, yep. And then he'd be like, "I see. This is why she ain't got no." But he would go in, and so those were the comical moments for me. He was funny. It would be more comical than critical.
Yeah, than serious. I would take things way more comical too.
Actually thought, like, for you, like, I'm like you. Who would go to him for advice? First of all, like, what made him God and judge and jury, right? And then some of the stories that some of them will get up to, how many kids you got? 5. And then he would do like that. And why I didn't work with none of your baby daddies? And then she would have a story, and then he'd be looking like
that part.
His face would look so, and he would just be so like bland about it. Like,
I know.
You already know like what this man is thinking. Like, he is totally judging this person.
Yeah. And then some of the stuff they would say would be just like you say, it's a setup. What do you do? Work at it would be some non-factoring ass shit that but you want a millionaire, you want a nigga making 6 figures, or you want,
right.
Or the one time he had somebody that had a child, and he said, "I don't want to date any women with kids." And he said, "I don't want to deal with the baby daddies. I don't want to deal, because they never go away." Like, he was being real honest about it. He's like, especially if the kid is young. He said, "Now maybe if they grown, but I don't want to mess with a woman with young kids," because he said the fathers are still active in their lives, and you should want them to be like this. He would be like, and you should want them to be. Right. I ain't with him no more. And it can be like, and now the man don't come see his kid because you ain't with him no more. And now another dysfunctional household. So he would break it down on some real in a scientific way, but it's just his harshness that would hurt him. And some people can't handle the truth. You know what I mean?
And I saw some people post things like, certain things that he said was harsh, but it's like, okay, we also got to heal each other. And I feel that, it's good to have these conversations, but just like how Black men and women communicate with each other is not always gentle or empathetic or any of those things. So it wasn't really adding to it may make somebody be like, okay, but it's like, that's how we talk to each other anyway. And I feel like we need to develop a better communication towards each other, because it's like we just have this thing like where, how white people feel like, well, if a Black person in the hospital and they say they got pain and they're not going to believe them. Black people like that to their own people. You know what I mean? So it's like we already have so much emotional trauma, and there is generational emotional trauma in our ancestry. You know what I mean? So we need to develop a better communication towards each other, and things that were correct, but like you said, Trina, how he said it, and like, I'm not gonna talk bad about the man because he's not here no more, but it I don't think it actually helped the healing process, but it definitely helped the conversation. So it's like, what do we go now with that?
Well, I think it'll be another Kevin Samuels one day. Like, I think he started a trend that they know that it's a market for, right? So now you're gonna have someone else that feels that that's a discussion. Like I need to be the person that
T.I.
can bear the honest truth.
Or one of them gonna do something. Watch, like a T.I. or Marlon Wayans. I saw him post something
Right.
somebody's gonna do something like that and be like, I'm about to make money on that.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, and you heard it here first on the Red Light Special.
And you heard it here, Red Light Special Live. So, we have Kevin, since we talk about Kevin Sammuels and I'm talking about comedians, I know this has also been in the news with Dave Chappelle being attacked on stage the other week, and the person had a fake gun that had a knife in it, and he got,
lumped up. He got lumped up. Let's be real.
And
when I saw the picture of him, his elbow was looking like it was his
arm was broke backwards. That bitch was broke.
That thing was broke backwards.
I was like, damn.
And that part, but like what there was like a confusion because people thought that was because after they stumped him out, Kevin said something like, "Oh, that was a trans man." So people thought it was a trans man, but it wasn't. But he said that, and so people were like in on Kevin, like, I'm not Kevin. What am I saying? Sorry, Dave. Saying, "Oh, that was messed up. What happened?" But he didn't have to diss the trans community because he said, called him a trans man, and that was the next controversy after that. But I'm seeing that Netflix is not releasing that comedy special at the Hollywood Bowl. And do you think this is going to continue because of the whole Will Smith? Chris Rock got on stage and said that was, worse was.
No, he threw shade big time.
I was like, where he come from? We had Jamie Foxx. You know what I mean? So this is pretty interesting. Do you feel like this is going to be a trend now? You think this is going to be a thing now?
What, comedians get attacked?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a comedian. I wish a nigga would. Let me show you what I got. You lucky I ain't got my bag with me. I got a hair comb that got a knife in it. I wish they do come jumping up on me. They gonna get a chanka.
Well, I feel like people are gonna start beefing up their security.
Well, after seeing what happened to him, I know a smart person wouldn't be so smart jumping up on stage, seeing what happened to the other guy. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And everybody, like, I'm with I think Michael, who is it? Not Michael, what's my boy? I see his eyes right now. I can't think of his name. He's a comedian. Just had a little boy. Light skin, LA, Mike Epps. Mike Epps say, I wish somebody would run up on me. He said, I'm gonna run behind him and drop kick him. And that would be me.
Yeah, well, this may, bring some other stuff going on. Like,
I think it's a lot of mental illness that's just starting to unravel now.
Yeah.
In New York, there was a police officer that found out his wife was cheating, took off work, tracked him down, shot the lover, and killed him and the wife.
Well, I think it's Mental Health Month. May's Mental Health Awareness.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that's just happening that people's mental health has been challenged in these past 2 years, and it's definitely showing. And we're seeing these things happening just day to day, along with celebrity things going on. Like there's a Johnny Depp case that's been going on with his wife, and there's a whole lot of bipolar things going on with that. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody's going through. You can go down, you can see the people on the street, see how the homeless people acting. You know what I mean? They going through their stuff too. It's just I feel like Gotham is everywhere right now.
Yeah.
It's Gotham. You know what I mean? And we got to be careful. We really got to be careful with, especially as artists, as celebrities, that people who deal with the community and things like that. We have to be, unfortunately it's like that, but we are going to have to be more aware of what's going on and making sure that we good. Because, as a comedian, as a performer, it could be somebody just jumping on the performing the dance. As a performer, I've had people just come on stage and like try to dance with me and stuff like that. And that was just like regular stuff. But now, like it's different now. So I'm interested to see more responses about this Dave Chappelle. I know he's going to talk about it again at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I
But
mean?
I think at some point, people are taking the fun. Like comedy shows are supposed to make you laugh. You go there, you're gonna hear stuff that you might not always agree. Some people are gonna be hurt. You shouldn't go to comedy if you're
Yeah.
sensitive.
Yeah.
You should not be at a comedy show if you're sensitive.
No.
At all.
Like if you got any issues with anything in your life, you need to go to church and get right with God and figure out
Yes.
seriously, because at some point you got to realize that people are not talking about you. Instagram ain't talking about you. People be reading posts thinking it's about them. It ain't about you, but you got shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point in your life, you got to grow up. We all do. It's not something we want to do, but we got to.
Yep.
And you don't want to be a 70-year-old person still doing the same thing that you could have got out your system in your 20s.
That part.
Yeah, in your 30s. There's some people in their 30s. There's a lot of people in their 30s that still need to get that together. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that Dave Chappelle was cool after that, and
that dude won't though. His elbow is done. His whole arm.
Interesting what's gonna happen with we hear anything from him after that, because what was the reason? What is it that he said that makes you think that you can jump on stage and there won't be no type of repercussion?
I know. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? What was your goal? Like, what you think was gonna happen? Like,
you can't possibly think you're gonna sue him after that, because he was protecting himself. Those people are paid to protect him. So you just must have wanted an ass whooping. That's what you ask me.
Yeah, real.
Exactly. So all this stuff that's going on in the media, and then we have things going on in the regular world. You know what I mean? We have this Roe versus Wade being overturned, and it has brought so much controversial, and people talking about it and protesting about it. I'm just like, we in 2022, like, why is this even a thing right now? You know what I mean? Why do I just feel like we've been fighting for, equality, and everybody's saying different pronouns, and everybody's a human. If you want to identify, we're basically been fighting for equality for everybody, and then women cannot have the decision if they don't want to have a child, and it could have been from rape, or they could be in poverty, homeless. You don't know what a person's situation, what's going on with anybody in their situation. You know what I mean? And then at the same time, we have white men that are making these decisions. And why are people making decisions that do not have a uterus? And then at the same time, like, after the baby's born, like, what happens after that? Like, we're protecting children, but we still have all this poverty and homeless, and America's taking care of other countries instead of making sure that their people is good. You know what I mean? So that's just pretty interesting, because it is. I've been watching this show called Handmaid's Tale. I don't know if y'all seen that, and like, this kind of like did that to me. Like, wait a minute. What's going on? Right?
Definitely giving Handmaid for sure.
You see Handmaid?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just finished I finished the whole season, and that. Have you watched that Handmaid's Tale, Trina? I think you muted.
I couldn't really get into it. I started watching it, but it was just too graphic. Being a rape survivor, for me, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was hard to get past.
For me, I couldn't do it. Like, for some people, that if you've never been through it, that experience is probably very easy. But for a woman that has experienced any kind of trauma, and that is very hard to watch, because that's all you see. You see so much of that in it, and so much of you having no rights. And as a woman, it just isn't. It's not a show that I would want to watch.
Yeah.
Right.
It was. But what I was going to say about the Roe versus Wade is that it's so funny. I was watching a young lady. She's an Instagrammer. She says some of the most profound shit, but it's so true. Mm-hmm. Like, the same people that are saying, women shouldn't have abortions, but then would come with a child that is not of what you're liking, and you disown them.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's the same liberals, the same people, pastors is telling you what's by God, but then you can't go to their church. You know what I mean? Or you can't be love who you love, or speak who you speak, or like you said, identify how you identify. So I think we are in a world where people pick what they want to pick and convenience to be a distraction from something else.
Right.
Like we get them paying attention to this because one, you should never be able to overturn something that's already been done.
Exactly.
Like it's not bothering you. You don't have a uterus. Why do you need to feel like you now need to go tell a woman what she feel like is best for her body? At some point, right. Just like everything else we dealing with right now, from this pandemic, landemic, whatever it is, money-demic. I'm starting to call it the money-demic.
The money-demic. Okay.
Okay. All right. But when are enough people gonna say, like, we was marching with George Floyd? When the last time you seen a march?
Right.
We still getting killed in random numbers. We still killing each other in random numbers. And so it's like they know, it's like almost like it's like how to rally. They rally us up, people rally up, and things happen. Then you find out the Black Lives Matter people stole the money and they went over here. It's just so much going on in the world to keep you from the real focus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's get right over here. Nobody's thinking about the food that we started losing, how high prices of food. Because I went and bought butter. That shit was $8.99.
Yeah.
Butter? They said, "Can you believe it's butter?" I said, "Hell no, not for $8.99."
Yeah.
Hell no.
For real.
Can you believe it's butter? I was like, what the hell? That's butter.
Yeah, stuff has definitely gone up for sure.
Like, and so we need to prepare for that type of shit. I mean, you can, and because the only way they're going to overturn, there should not be able to be something that's already been passed that is already working well for people. Now you got people having to take a trip to come to another city to have something that they feel they could have at home that may have been, like you said, an accident, a rape, a violation of incestation, because that goes on a lot and people don't talk about it. Get attacked by their parents and, foster parents. A lot of stuff goes on. So there's a lot of reasons why people don't want to do what they need to do. And I'm with Yaminah as a woman. If it's a right that I have, I think as a woman, any woman that ever had to have an abortion is not going back for numeral unless she just don't have no feelings.
Yeah.
That first one, any woman has to go through is a reason. The child could have something for me, but you can't always listen to the doctors. Right. Because I've heard stories where the doctors have told people that the kid's gonna be retarded and they come out fine. So to me, if you're gonna have a child, you should prepare for the worst or however it goes, because this is the child God chose you to be prepared for, right? And you have responsibility to that child. But if you did not want children, if you don't have any loving natures in you, because you got people that had kids that shouldn't have probably never had kids. That's why you see.
Okay, real.
Can I say that? And I don't sound like messed up.
I know some people where I'd be like, you.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I really feel like you had kids because, like, it was convenient. It supported a reason. Like, it was a relationship, love. You want to keep holding on to a person. But when you see the attention and love that they have for the child, there's none. Like, as far as really wanting them to build them up to get out here in this cold world and showing them so much love to let them know, like, look, I love you, but I got to build you up and prepare you for all the stuff my mama didn't tell me in a loving way. I'm not judging you. I'm not going to be critical. And sometimes it may seem hard, but as your mom, it's my job to protect you.
Yep.
But my children's friends, like, I have a very open home policy in my house. Now, I hadn't always been like that. My first child taught me how to be very open, right? Because in her life, she chose an alternative lifestyle. But when it first happened to me growing up in the church and Baptist I'm like, what? And let me tell you, I actually felt like I lost my love, like because you're my first love, like my child.
Right.
Now telling me that you are in love with a woman. And for me as a mother, I was confused because I never saw it coming. But who am I to know who she's gonna love or who she should love or who's gonna love her right?
Right.
And I had to grow to that. And I'm honest enough to say that a lot of women wouldn't, or mothers probably wouldn't. You know what I mean? But I never ostracized my child until to get out. I was confused. I was like, well, when and how and why?
Right.
Yeah.
I had those questions because I never saw it. And when I asked her, because I thought we had such an open relationship. She told me, no, man. Like, so I'm believing. And then for her to come out, I felt more hurt. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I thought we were, you know what I mean? Cool. I thought I was your mom. You could tell everything, anything, but people have to tell you at their own pace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I had to accept as a mom. I had to accept that, right? I had to accept that my child is her own individual, beautiful person and a beautiful spirit and a giving and loving. And I have to know that she knows God will help her set boundaries. Because my fear was that a woman would take advantage of her. You know what I mean? Like when you think you going, because you know, I got a child as a giver and provider. Like this is my daughter's like her mother. Like we work hard, we get it.
Right.
And I felt like I know I could fight a girl. So what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, bitch, I will beat your ass. And the first girlfriend, I didn't like her because it was my daughter's first relationship, and she was mean and nasty. And I didn't know how to. I couldn't accept the first relationship, this is the first one, and then the bitch was just nasty and rude. And come to find out, she didn't have a good relationship with her mom. So of course, she didn't want her to have a good relationship.
Yeah.
And my baby tight. That's my best friend. That's my best friend. And she was trying to take that away because she didn't have it.
Right.
And, you know, as some my daughter, you know, love overpowers. And when you have a relationship with your children, they know who they love, their mom. They like, and it also outgrew each other because my daughter probably wanted more. Who knows? I don't fucking know. I don't know the whole story. I'm just saying, I'm sharing how I met her and why I didn't like. I was like, she nasty. Right. Like I am very keen on respect to people's mamas and elders. I don't care who you are, how old you are. I might not even like you, but I'm gonna respect you because I was raised that way.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real.
They don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But you know.
Yeah, well, you know, that's part of motherhood, you know, and like we all agree we should, at the end of the day, we should have the choice to make decisions with our body.
Your body, who you love, what you want to do, all of that.
Things, you know, that's very important. And so we're gonna close it out with that, y'all. You know, it's very important for you to love yourself, and you know, we don't need to judge nobody for any of those kind of things. So, you know,
but it takes you to be willing to change. I mean, I think that's where we have been stuck in too long.
Yeah.
Everybody acting like, you know, you don't gotta go home with this person. This is their personal life. Why? What does someone's sexual preference or who they are, if they decide not to have kids, makes that your business?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we talking about love and all that. You know, they ended up P. Diddy is starting a new label for R&B Love Records. It'll be interesting to see how this will go turn out, y'all.
I know. I'm interested too. We'll be staying tuned.
Stay tuned for the love and see if it's love.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm your girl, Yaminah Legohn. Thank you so much for coming out and checking us out for the Red Light Special Live. You know that you can follow us. Let me make sure I got everything. Okay, there we go. You know, you can follow Miss Trina Be Real.
I keep it real, baby. And let me tell you something.
Keep it real.
With a lot of love.
You can follow Mr. Apollo Sadiq.
Yes, follow me.
Follow. And you can follow your girl, Yaminah Legohn, and visit the website as well as Art of Legohn, y'all. So thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye, ciao.
Yes. So ciao, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are out. Sex, love, and relationships with tips you don't want to miss. Keeping it sassy with all the swag. Don't you want to kiss? Wednesday hump day, we're making it a fun day. You don't have to hit it rough. From the west coast to the east coast, let me see you throw it up. Stop by, drop a like, and we'll say what's up.